The commonly known phenomenon, the melting pot, has historically shaped America's approach to newcomers. Initially, this idea was intended to unite individuals under common principles such as liberty and equality. However, the negative cost of this immense hunger for unity is concerning. Assimilation of individuals results in the abandonment of diversity. Coinciding with the Americanization of pop culture through mass media and transnational corporations and the global influence it has, diversity is not only being stripped of America, but the entirety of the world. The loss of cultural differences feels like a collective forgetting, the flattening of pluralism that gives individual identities vitality to belong within communities. This global system of the melting pot is deeply troubling as it ignites a desire for belonging which overbears the importance of retaining cultural distinctiveness. Pluralism gives grounds to a more innovative, empathetic, and resilient society than uniformity ever could. While unity is crucial in certain aspects of nationalism, more of an emphasis must be placed upon the integration of individual differences into modern societies. In a rapidly globalizing world, the extent to which we embrace unity may have significant impacts on the preservation of the many pieces that make up the mosaic of humanity. The global future depends on the integration of individuality, not the neglection of it. The idea of cultural homogeneity highlights the contradictory issues regarding assimilation that's justified as unity and the preservation of diversity in an increasingly globalized world. Historically, Americanization in the early 20th century aimed at incorporating foreign residents of the United States into the complete understanding and commitment of the American lifestyle. Previous to the outbreak of World War I, the vitality and prosperity that newcomers granted was overlooked. Instead, programs worked to create a harmonious blend of individual identities into one collective American identity. Such programs included education of the English language, American history, and civic ideals. Today, transnational corporations such as McDonald's, Disney, and Coca-Cola project American pop culture worldwide, influencing similar cultural practices and ideals upon the greater global society. This fosters controversy, as some supporters argue Americanization harnesses unity and spreads democratic ideals. Critics claim it as a form of cultural imperialism that threatens the exuberance of individualism. As globalization accelerates, individuals have sought the desire to stray from cultural traditions as a means to find a sense of belonging. However, the benefits of cultural diversity within a nation lose its significance amidst this desire. The idea of the melting pot as a result of the pressures from Americanization relates to the thematic core of 3-Day Road by Joseph Boyden. Within the narrative, the pressure of the Cree peoples to assimilate into the dominant culture of the Wamasteka show is prevalent, especially when Xavier and Elijah are enlisted to fight in World War I and become submerged in the colonial military society. The novel explores the negative outcomes that arise when an individual loses a sense of their own identity due to external pressures. This is seen in the character Elijah. As he is constantly around white Canadian soldiers, the desire to belong and prove his worth to them blinds him from his traditional ideologies and values. As the narrative progresses, Elijah's descent into madness is clearly displayed as he begins betraying his cultural practices, for example, when he begins finding immense pleasure in the killing of others. His character is transformed to such a great extent that Xavier no longer recognizes who Elijah has become, as he has strayed so far from his initial identity. This theme in the novel embraces the importance of maintaining individuality in a society that may be trying to marginalize it. The concept of Americanization indirectly promotes a significant divide in societies that is disguised as unity. This divide can also be referred to as the us and them dynamic. When a minority group is pressured to seamlessly blend into a dominant culture, adopting their ideals and way of life, this suggests a superiority complex of the dominant group and an inferiority of the minority group. While the idea of the melting pot emphasizes creating a monoculture in order to most greatly benefit society, it is actually crafting oppression of individuals who are forced into abandoning their own identities. Often, minority groups such as immigrants and indigenous peoples must assimilate in order to be accepted, suggesting the us and them idea as one group is more significant and worthy than the others. This is also modernly done on a global scale through the influence of American culture on media and corporations promoting us as an utmost level of normality and belonging. As a result of this, local them cultures are overshadowed by such powerful dominance. Historically, the Nazi Party during World War II projected their strict ideals through an overbearing dominance on Germany. This included indoctrination and propaganda to enforce and persuade others to adopt a synonymous worldview. In Jojo Rabbit, the young boy Jojo is subject to such indoctrination from the onset of his life. Initially, he's quite affirmed with his mindset regarding Jewish people, how they are evil and not worthy of belonging within society. However, as Jojo discovers the Jewish girl, Elsa, who is hidden in his attic, he becomes unable to fully embrace these uniform, hateful ideologies. Adolf Hitler, who Jojo is seen imagining in the narrative, symbolizes the pressure to conform to a dominant identity. However, Jojo's hesitations, including his inability to kill the rabbit in his youth camp, highlights his underlying desire to embrace his own individuality and express empathy and humanity within a society that is dominated by inhumane ideals. Amidst the rapid globalization in modern-day society, as well as the widespread influence of popular culture, the concept of Americanization is prevalent due to the promotion of dominant cultures upon local minority cultures. The more the world becomes interconnected, the more individuals feel pressure to conform to a specific, ideal identity as a means to find a sense of belonging. While this idea of unity promotes positive ideals such as togetherness, it may easily become intermixed with the erasure of cultural distinctiveness, leading to decreased diversity worldwide. More of an emphasis must be placed upon the coexistence of distinctive peoples, highlighting differences and celebrating what diversity brings to the greater good of society. In contrast, attempting to conform individuals into adopting a synonymous ideology as a hopes of reaching a society where everyone is agreeable leads to the stripping of diversity,